The man who escaped from Pretoria's C-Max prison is nabbed by a tracking company after 2 weeks on the run. A jazz great and his family devastated by the gruesome murder of his daughter. And another blow for the Bush administration as the US ambassador to the United Nations calls it quits.
Have backed down.
Live from Johannesburg, this is E-News Prime Time. A very good evening. One of South Africa's most feared criminals has been re-arrested. Ananias Mate was apprehended by a tracking company after they chased a stolen vehicle he was driving. But Mate, who's facing trial on more than 50 charges, didn't give up without a fight. At the same time, several warders suspected of helping him to escape from Pretoria's C-Max prison have been suspended, pending an internal probe.
Police had searched from Gauteng to Mozambique for the man known as Houdini. Ananias Mate is a former Mozambican soldier who police allege has specialized in armed robbery, murder and rape since coming to South Africa. Mate hijacked this car in Craighall Park, Johannesburg. Tracking company Netstar located him by helicopter and sent a team into the mazy streets of Tembisa.
The chopper directed me all around the blocks, tried to cut him off as he was running from house to house jumping. Eventually, about 1 kilometer further, he went into a house and the chopper actually saw him go into that house, and I got my crew along the road and we went to that house where I got him inside the house.
But Mate didn't give up inside here. He wounded a Netstar employee with a screwdriver, was shot in the leg and surrendered. Bloodstains the only sign of struggle. Correctional Services Minister Nqonde Belfour says he's relieved and has promised Mate won't escape from hospital where he's being treated.
After surgery, he's going right back to where he belongs. That particular cell that we've put aside special that he'll go into, we've strengthened everything around that cell to make sure that he doesn't ever go out again.
Correctional Services is still investigating how Mate became the first prisoner ever to escape from C-Max, squeezing out of a 20-centimeter high window. An inside job hasn't been ruled out. Ananias Mate's life of freedom ended on this simple street in Tembisa. It seems he simply couldn't lie low. Greed and the need to commit crime got the better of him. He's behind bars once again, and let's hope that this time Correctional Services can hold on to one of South Africa's most dangerous prisoners. Ben said, E-News, Tembisa.
Jazz great McCoy Mkhobata is in Cape Town tonight seeking answers to the gruesome killing of his daughter. The body of 22-year-old Nontseba Mzondo was found over the weekend. She'd been beaten to death and her eyes were gouged out. An 18-year-old youth is being held for questioning.
A visit no father would ever want to make. McCoy Mkhobata is still too devastated to talk to the media. But what this family is going through is painfully clear. The dead woman's mother, Thobeka Mzondo, has hardly slept. She's too afraid to close her eyes because every time she does, she sees her daughter's face. Nontseba Mzondo was found in one of these concrete pipes barely 500 meters from her home. A relative had to identify the mutilated body.
I couldn't even go and see her because if the crime scene broke the most hardened of police officers, can you imagine what it would do to me?
She suspects her daughter knew the person or people who killed her. She's wanted Nontseba to move to Johannesburg next year to complete her studies and to be close to her father.
Police are hoping a post-mortem expected in the next 2 days will yield more clues into the murder of young Mzondo, a death that shocked an entire community. Lukhanyo Chalata, E-News, Cape Town.
Is Tony Yengeni getting special treatment in prison? Correctional Services says not. The ANC's former chief whip had his privileges pulled when he broke parole conditions last month, but it's now claimed that he's escaped punishment.
Yengeni at the start of his 4-year sentence, and the convicted fraudster is given a hero send-off. After just a few hours, he's transferred to more comfortable surroundings in Malmesbury. Then 3 months later, allowed home for the weekend, where he's pictured holding a bottle of beer and arrives late back at prison, violating his parole conditions.
Pending the investigation of these allegations, Tony Yengeni will forfeit all privileges related to visitations by his spouse, children, and anybody close associates.
Correctional Services reportedly feels there's insufficient evidence to take further action. Prison rights group SAPO says Yengeni is receiving favourable treatment, and the Democratic Alliance agrees.
The Minister should take a look at all those media photographs of Mr. Yengeni having a party. The Minister should check what time Mr. Yengeni came back to jail after his weekend parole and what time he left, and institute what would happen in any other case.
Yengeni's family isn't saying anything.
None of Yengeni's family was home, but even if they were, it's unlikely they'd talk to us. They've kept a low profile since the incriminating photograph was taken about 3 weeks ago, and have refused to say when they're expecting him to be allowed out again. Do you think he'll be home for Christmas?
I don't know, man.
Correctional Services has refused to comment. Amy Brooke, E-News, Cape Town.
And now let's take a look at how the markets have performed today. When E-News Primetime continues, the end of a controversial appointment. The US Ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton, calls it a day.
Back down. They have